Hi, my name is Kamal and my wife is Ju. I'm presenting 10 shocking points about the whole experience of going to a gas station and coming back. Most of us just go to the gas station, it's a boring job. Just go there, fill it up, and we don't know what has just happened, what has happened to the environment, what have you had a near miss, what have you escaped, and I trust that after you watch this video, and please watch it, the full thing, and that your experience going to a gas station and back is going to change. I hope you like the video, and if you do, please subscribe and like and share. The first point is on effect on environment. I have here statistics from on US, and these are consumptions of 2020. US has consumed 8 million barrels of gasoline per day. That's significant, and that is equivalent to using converters available on the EPA.gov website. The 8 million barrels of gasoline per day converts to 1,000 kgs per second of CO2. Now, all of these CO2 equivalent is not going into the atmosphere because there's only few vapors coming off from filling of gasoline, and those vapors are diluted in the atmosphere, and Mother Nature makes it safe for us. What is considered as greenhouse gas emission, if you look down here, is as low as 175 parts per million of CO2 is considered greenhouse gas. So only this, if it goes into the ozone layer, is what is going to be a greenhouse gas. I have here 2019 statistics about the greenhouse gas emission contributors, out of which transportation alone is 29%, and electricity is 25%. Industries altogether is 23%, and we have commercial and residential 13%, and agriculture 10%. We are contributing to the environment in one way or the other if we don't control the emissions from the car. We'll go down to the next slide. The second one is about the human health. Again, this is a source from EPA government, and breathing gasoline vapors that are coming out from the car is going to create noise and throat irritation, headaches, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, confusion, and breathing. So all the gasoline vapors are coming off from the car, from the gas stations, from the way we pump gas. So go to the point 3. Fill gas in low ambient. I have this as one of the cautionary step that we can take, is because gasoline vapors are more when you fill on in a hot weather during the noontime. So if you have to fill gas, fill it in the early morning or late evening. That's when you have less vapors coming out, because gasoline has got a direct relation with temperature in the vaporization process. It's So you have these gasoline vapors that comes off from your car evap system. I'll talk about car evap system in the later on, and they come from the gas station evaporation system, and they come from other cars because the gas stations are fitted with 6 or 9 filling stations, and then they come from other cars. So to prevent yourself from what we talked about human health in slide 2, is that you could wear a gas mask and while you're at the gas station filling gas, so that at least saves your health. We'll go to the point 4. Point four is fill up from half tank. What I mean by this is that when your gas tank is empty, let's say your gas tank is about 80 liters capacity. When it's empty, what do you think is available inside the tank? It is the vapors, the gasoline vapors. And when you start filling up and the tank is now full, all those 80 liters vapor has actually come out. And it has come out either through the evap system or through the nozzle in which you are filling. There's a small hole in the nozzle that actually the vapors come out, and they're supposed to go out through the evap system in the gas stations, but they could also come out. Some of it could also leak and come out, and we could be breathing those vapors. If you fill it from halfway, the problem is reduced by 50% because there's only 40 liters of gasoline vapors coming off. Point number five, if you see a gas truck, then skip the station and go to the next station. Have you passed by a gas truck? And have you noticed the intensity of the gasoline vapors around the truck? Because the truck has got a evaporation system that is designed on the higher side. What I mean by higher side is that even the least amount of evaporations is actually vented out from the tank. And when the truck is standing and filling gas in the underground tank, um, the filling is actually taking place at very high speed, at top speed, because you need to empty this volume of gasoline in the truck into the tank, and the truck needs to go. Um, at top speed, it's actually stirring up the gasoline that is at equilibrium inside your underground tank, and creating stirring up gasoline is disturbing the equilibrium. Therefore, you have vapors coming off from the top of the evaporation system of the gas station, and you definitely have more vapors. I couldn't find out any research article on this one. What is the normal vapors, normal filling, and what are the vapors when a gas truck is there? But definitely you can smell it, and that's proof enough that you shouldn't be there when a gas truck is filling. Go to point six. This is again talking about the way we fill the gasoline into the car. If you squeeze the trigger all the way in, again, you're filling your car at top speed. And again, top speed, as I mentioned, is going to generate more gasoline vapors, and those vapors are again getting into our cell or into our nose. And it's best to use gloves and mask. There are some stations which have a low, medium, and high set points. Use the low point, which is closest to you. If they don't have it, then you need to fill it by hand, and just don't squeeze the trigger all the way in. So it takes a little bit more time, but you're generating less vapors. Number seven is to disconnect cell charging. Now, cell charging, while there's a lots of research about cell phones charging, static currents, um, and people are coming up with the companies are coming up with newer models of cell phone, stating that this is more safer than the previous version and so on. But the fact still remains that there is static current on any cell phone, regardless of how expensive it is. And you want to disconnect the static charges in a gas station when you're filling gas. And that's why you want to disconnect the phone, and you want to stop talking, you want to stop using the cell phone because usage is consuming battery, and battery consuming battery is creating static charge, and you are charging the cell phone is creating static charge. You get off the car and close the door and disconnect your cell phone before that, and don't go back inside because you don't want to go inside the car with gasoline vapors and static current, and you don't want to be going in and out of the car because your movement can also create static currents. So this is there's a video about a car catching fire due to static currents. We'll watch that. The next point is about overfilling will damage your car. It's not going to damage the entire car. When you fill gasoline, there is a auto stop. The nozzle automatically stops. Um, the gas tank may be 95% full, or it may be some depending on the weather, it could be 80% full. But sometimes we want to squeeze in more gasoline. It's because we got a distance to cover and the next gas station is not very close, or for whatever reason, if you're going to overfill, where do you think the gasoline is going to? It first goes into your carbon filter. This is a picture of a carbon filter. It's different for different cars, and the carbon filter is supposed to get only the vapors and not the gasoline. So the moment gasoline comes in, it's damaged, and from the carbon filter, the gasoline in the liquid state will go to the front of the car and will try to dump the gasoline either into the engine or into the exhaust system. So this is going to damage your evaporation system, and you could probably get a engine light indication, and you would be spending money changing the carbon filter, or changing the exhaust system, or the purge valve that is controlled by a computer. It sends the vapors either to the engine or to the catalytic converter into the exhaust system. So don't overfill. You could carry a jerry can with you, or just leave it in as soon as the nozzle stops. Just stop it, and as soon as you see it in the next gas station, try to fill up. Go to the next one. 25% used and 75% wasted. What I mean by this is there is a lot of wastage due to mechanical losses. I have listed here, which is an extract from the Department of Energy, and various kind of losses: the engine losses, electrical losses, parasitic losses, power to the wheel, drivetrain losses, and idle losses. All of these losses are essential in order for the car to keep moving. But what you're actually using is 25% of the gas in order for moving from point A to point B, and the rest of it is wasted in some way, mostly by evaporations and heat losses, and that's why when you go walk around a car, it stinks of gasoline, and some of the new cars don't, but once you pop the hood, there is gasoline vapors, the smell of gasoline vapors. And I have a picture here of what the vapors are doing to the ozone layer around the Earth. The blue circle is the gray circle, which is the ozone layer. And every little, the first slide we saw that 175 parts per million of CO2 is considered greenhouse gas. So if that much of gas comes all the way to the top of the ozone layer, then it's going to deplete the ozone layer. So why do we have ozone layer? Is because the sun rays don't come in to the earth. They just come on the ozone layer and then they bounce back. See, they come here, they bounce back. But if there is a hole on the ozone layer, the sun ultraviolet UV rays, they come down here and then they create all kinds of problems for the skin and for the eyes and so on. So we want to preserve that ozone layer by avoiding the emissions and trying to use a more efficient car. We're down to the last point. Lifetime losses are huge. I have done a little calculation here based on the 25% usage and 75% losses. And if you consider approximately $1 per liter of, and you're spending $200 per month, and you would find that in a lifetime, it's about 90,000 of your money spent on filling your gas is actually gone into wasting due to mechanical loss. Um, that's quite a bit, and it's the downside of having a car. But you can't live without a car. You need a car. I have cars too. But it's best to buy a more fuel efficient car to avoid all these losses and to avoid the depletion in the ozone layer and for living a better life. I want to wish you all a safe journey and uh, take care. See you in the next video. Bye.